It was running in Strathmore by some investors who invest in that seed stage. We got some funding, small funding. That was
small as in how much?
$50,000.
$50,000.
Yeah, we were
and
quite
you call
small.
that small?
We were quite small.
Oh.
We participated. It's a 3-month program, very intensive. Again, this is now global. You're preparing your startup for the global audience, because at the end of the accelerator program, the 3-month, there is something they call demo day. You pitch, it's a 5 minutes pitch.
5 minutes only?
5.
Welcome back. This is the executive table, and I'm Mary Wamae. We continue with a very exciting conversation with Edwin Mwangi, the Chief Business Officer at WorkPay. Continue watching. Now, Edwin.
Yes.
I read somewhere, it was big news, that you got the Google for Startups Accelerator Awards. So just tell us something about that award and why you got it.
WorkPay is a startup in the HR tech space in Kenya. We are founded, we are Delaware registered. So one of the things that you have to do as a startup in Kenya, maybe I speak to the people who would want to do this, to attract funding. Most of the VCs understand the global standards. So
now you have started the acronyms again. VCs means what?
Yeah, venture capitalists.
Venture capitalists. Yes. Those are the guys with the money.
Yes, they fund startups. They invest in startups. That's their business model. So in 2019, just to take you back, we've participated in 3 accelerator programs. And accelerators are programs targeted at startups to upskill them, expose them, build capacity for them so that they can be able to package their story, their product, their business, so that they are investor ready. That's what I would say.
The attractiveness to the investor in business.
Yes.
Okay.
So at a very early stage, you attract grants. There are various ways of raising funds. So one of the things we did was to participate in an accelerator program called Pangea. It was running in Strathmore by some investors who invest in that seed stage. We got some funding, small funding. That was
small as in how much?
$50,000.
$50,000.
Yeah, we were
and
quite
you call
small.
That small?
We were quite small.
Oh,
we were quite small.
$50,000.
Yes.
That's in Kenya shillings is how much? Like 6 million?
6
for free.
Million. So it is also venture capital. So it would later convert to equity for the investor. But I would say they were amongst the first people who believed in us.
Who believed in the story.
Yeah, and saw something. So later on, in 2019, we participated in the Google for Africa Accelerator program. So
now this is a bigger kind of award competition.
Yeah.
Okay.
That one is just for capacity building. It had no funding component to it.
Okay.
But Google, in their wisdom, saw it fit to start a program targeted at Africa startups to try to scale them. Remember, if they do scale, they will consume the Google products.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so we were given incentives in terms of Google Cloud Platform credits. So like one of the awards we were given is you can use the GCP, we call it the GCP, which means Google Cloud Platform, for a period of like 2 years.
Oh, I see. So they give you complimentary?
For free. And to an early startup, I can tell you server costs.
That makes a lot of difference.
Server costs can go very high, especially because you're building, you're testing a lot of things.
Some are going wrong, you have to do.
You haven't gotten into a place where you can say you can optimize an application to use the minimal resources. So that kind of funding is very helpful at the beginning, and it helps us to save costs. So we participated in that. It was running between Nairobi, Kigali, and Lagos. It was a 3-month program. So we used to travel top executives, and we would have these mentors who would come to speak to us about scaling a business,
different aspects of
building a product, scaling a business across Africa, what to expect. And that was a very eye-opening thing, because one of the things, again, in a startup environment, everybody is learning on the job. Even
there's no manual.
Even the CEO is a CEO for the first time that scale.
The products are just new. Everyone is
everything is growing.
This one works.
You have to learn.
Wow.
At that time, I became a salesperson. Remember, I had done commerce, information system. This is a new discipline. I'm now being introduced to, scaling a product across different markets, go-to-market strategies and the like, hiring and keeping salespeople and all those things. There are a lot of dynamics when it comes to scaling a product. So we participated in Google for Africa Accelerator program, which built the momentum for our next accelerator. And it was the second time we were applying to the YC Combinator Accelerator program. It is the mother of all accelerators for startups. It is the biggest. It is where companies like Airbnb have graduated from, and all the big startups in the US.
All those disruptors in the market have passed through there.
Yes. So we participated. It was the second time we were applying. That was in 2019, late 2019, and we got in 2020, early 2020. Remember, because that's when COVID was starting to happen. I remember our CEO being locked out in California.
He couldn't travel.
He made it the last flight out with the ALM. They even had to call him. You have to get on board within 2 hours, otherwise
we don't know when.
You're locked. And we participated. It's a 3-month program, very intensive. Again, this is now global. You're preparing your startup for the global audience, because at the end of the accelerator program, the 3-month, there is something they call demo day. You pitch. It's a 5-minute pitch.
5 minutes only.
5.
But you have to say the right things.
It was in person then. Now they have transitioned it to virtual after COVID. But then you have to say everything in 5 minutes. So our CEO was there. The other co-founder was in Kenya. They were trying to connect via video for him also to say something, because all the founders have to say something. It didn't work. He ended up doing it by himself, and we were quite nervous to receive the news, but we got in.
You got it.
We were the second startup in Kenya
to get that award.
Into that program.
That's amazing.
So
well done.
We got
but
in.
Does it also show that the market recognized something? That the potential and the disruption that this product would have in the market.
The good thing about that program is that globally they recognize sectors that will be coming up.
Sectors of the future. Yes.
So there was a talk around the future of work already. How will human resources or human work
in the next few years.
Yes. So anyone in that space,
HR,
they are interested. And the good thing about them, they look at continents. So in Africa, in that category, we happen to be the only ones in that category. And then, of course, the other stories the other part of the pitch has to check out how big is your market size, how many customers are you serving, how are you structured, who are your investors to date, what is the size of this opportunity. If we give you funding, which you say maybe you are at the right time now, we can scale, would you take this to a unicorn, because now they look at, we invest at this stage, but eventually we want you to exit as a unicorn, and that's massive. So we got in, that had a funding aspect to it. So when you have demo day, you attract now global investors, because everybody is there saying, if you go through this accelerator
and you emerge victorious,
even the selection process is so rigorous that they've already done their due diligence.
They could not have missed anything of importance.
Yes.
Oh, well done.
So
That's great.
We raised
so
money.
What you are saying is that really opened up the innovation to funding opportunities. Now, we have a complaint by from various quarters, both individuals and business people with startups, and they are saying no one is willing to give funding to startups. But you're just telling us here that it is possible. So I want you to talk about the funding that you have attracted, whether it's debt or equity or seed funding from different quarters, just to show that it is possible, but also talk about what do you need as a company or as a startup to make yourself attractive to receive this kind of funding at the right cost, of course. Yeah.